Hi guys, what is good? Welcome to your April 2019 Astro Snip. We are going to be highlighting Pluto in retrograde. Now, by the time this video is recorded, Jupiter is now retro, Mercury is direct, and Pluto does not retro until April 24th. It will remain in retrograde until October 3rd, 2019. Let's talk about it for a minute. We know that Pluto was downgraded as a dwarf planet. However, this is a outward planet, but it can still, cause a bit of some shakeups if it affects you that way. We're going to find out. Think about systematic transformations that affect structures in which we build our lives around. Retrograde happens, and it will tend to illuminate, claim, or not your own personal power. Sometimes it highlights things and makes us feel like we're backseat driving something that we thought we were in control of. Does that make sense? Pluto will affect the opportunity to pinpoint things that's unfair. And so if that is what's been happening, retrograde is going to be a perfect opportunity for you, for these areas in your life to be highlighted so you can pay attention, okay? Because Pluto oversees shifts and controls, systematic transformations, things of that nature, structures, the transformations that include major aspects of our lives that need to happen that maybe we haven't been paying attention to, if that makes sense. If you want any other things, you can go and you can look it up, but let's get started. So I'm going to be breaking down what Pluto in retrograde will mean for one of you, and we are going to, for each and every one of you zodiac signs. I'm not time stamping these because, yeah. So scroll through if you don't want to hear it. Okay. Aries. Pluto retro is going to be hitting you in your house of career and reputation. So it's going to be time to consider the mark that you want to leave on the world, Aries. So are you happy in your career? Are you going down the path that's okay for you? Are you taking your dreams seriously? Remember, all of the systematic transformations that need to take place that you have been ignoring, now that it's hitting you in your 10th house of career, it's going to force you to pay attention and ask you these questions like, am I happy? Little bitty things that's going to start to just explode that you probably haven't paid any attention to is going to go full, is going to go full center. Like you're going to see it and you'll be like, oh my, keep that in mind. Taurus, you're going to experience this in the 9th house of adventure and philosophy. So you're going to be forced to look at new and uncharted territories. Taurus is a fixed sign. There's some things that you haven't done, some things that you've been regretting not doing, some things that you have put off on the back burner as it pertains to embracing new ideas, fresh perspectives, and uncharted territories, whether that has something to do with education, travel. There is something that you've been so fixed in that now Pluto in retrograde is going to force you to expand. Maybe it's time for you to go back to school. Who knows? Gemini is hitting you in the 8th house. Ooh-wee. Now, the thing about it is that the house of sex, aggression, and the 8th house, Mars-ruled house, that's where because I noticed that with some of you guys, it's hitting you, all of the retrogrades are kind of hitting you in the same themes. If you go back and watch the Jupiter in retrograde, it hits you in that same house, if I'm not mistaken. You're about to start really purging, going deep and dark. And if you do not go through this with Pluto being in retro, then you're going to miss the whole lesson. It's time for you to dig deep, Gemini. It's time for you to acknowledge your weaknesses and flaws so you know how to move forward. I've already explained to you what the systematic transitions that we don't pay attention to that affects the bigger picture. You're being called to figure out how you have been affecting things that have not been working in your own life. And once you do that, take control, acknowledge, release, so you can move forward. Okay? Cancer. Cancer, there has been a theme for you. There has been a theme for you. If you know Cancer, North Node of Destiny is in your sign, in the mother and the father of the Zodiac, Cancer Capricorn, which is my sun and my moon. So, this particular retrograde is hitting you right in the 7th house. It's time for you to really tackle partnerships. Now, this has been a thing. And it's not been good for me. And trust me, it's hitting me. There has been a theme of partnership and focusing on partnerships for over a year in certain parts of your chart, depending on where you have what. You have to focus on what you need on a deep spiritual level, and it's time to settle for nothing less than what you deserve, and to embody the characteristics of a loyal, caring, and respectful partner in return. This is you. This is plain flat out the law of attraction. Like attracts like. This is you elevating to a higher level, Cancerian, on what you want and giving it right back so you guys can meld together. And I'm telling you that it's not easy. None of this is. But that's where it's hitting you, Cancer. And I know you feel it because it's been in your energy. Some of you guys are in current relationships where you're forced to have to figure out what this means every single day. Reevaluating and re-examining things as if you're on a trial. But Spirit is forcing you to make sure that this time around that you get nothing less than what you deserve in your relationships and that you give it back in return. All right. Leo. This is going to hit you in the house of health. Okay. Daily routines. Mind, body, and soul. Go to the gym. It's going to hit you in your daily routines. Where it hit Cancer, in Jupiter in retrograde, where it's hitting Cancer, it's hitting you. Pluto in retro is hitting you in the same house. Routines. Go to the gym. Go to the doctor. Make sure that you are together. Not just physically, mind, body, and soul. Maybe you need to go and get a Reiki healing. Maybe you need to go to the chiropractor. I'm talking about really diving deep into your own well-being. Not just, oh, I got my yearly checkup. I went to the dentist every 6 months. No, Leo. I'm talking about go to the podiatrist. Go to the ear, nose, and throat specialist. Go and find out whether physically you go to some of these specialists just for routine checks. Or go and get a Reiki, get a palm healing, get a tarot reading. Make sure that your spirit is together too. It's not just about the makeup, the outward. Because if you're a Leo, you're going to look good. But how you feel on the inside is just as important as how you look on the outside. All right, Leo. Virgo. Virgo is hitting you in the house of fun, the 5th house. I don't think that a lot of you guys have a problem with this, but if you are one of those Leos that got a lot of earth in your chart, where you are an earth sign, but your moon and rising is earth and you're just serious all the time and you're a taskmaster, now it's time for you to open up and reframe your perspective so you can allow more creativity into your life. Go cook. Take a cooking class. Learn how to do something. This is not about the education house like Taurus. This is you just tapping into your creativity and having some fun. Tap into your inner child and rediscover what makes you feel alive and what brings you joy. That's what you need to do. Libra, 4th house of home and family, the Cancerian house. It's time for you to establish the home life that you deserve. Have you been having some issues calling home? Do you live in a home where you feel like it's not your home? Well, it's time for you to start tearing down walls, baby, and refreshing your space. Whether that means remodeling, going to get you a new bedspread, whatever that means to you. because we are all not on the same financial playing field. So if you are a Libra watching this, this could be as simple as you refreshing your space. But for others of you, it's deeper than that. We're talking about tackling issues that have something to do with your family. We're talking about trauma that has been given to you by family. Deep-rooted family issues that it's time for you to tackle. Okay? If you're feeling like you are stuck, it's time for you to have those conversations. It's time for you to basically restructure and tackle anything that makes you feel less than who you are as it pertains to home and family. And only you know what that feels like or what that looks like if it applies to you, okay? Scorpio, it's time for you to revamp the way in which you... It's time for you to reprocess and revamp the way in which you think. Just like your Jupiter, as you were trying to figure out what earning looks like for you. What does personal power look like for you? You got some bad habits. And a lot of the bad habits have a lot to do with the way you communicate. The way you take that fixed energy and harness it on negative. Pluto is going to force you to let these bad habits go. And not talk at others. Talk to others. Not hear what you want to hear from others. Actually listening to others. It's time for you to revamp the way you think about things as it pertains to daily routine, integrity, listening and talking. Overall bad habits, because it's going to hit you in your house of communication, the third house, the Mercury ruled house. And Mercury is direct. You don't see eye to eye with people because of the way that you think. If it applies, that's great. Now that this planet is in retrograde and Mercury is direct, you're going to find yourself miscommunicating more than usual. But it's time for you to let go of those bad habits and really propel yourself in a situation where you start practicing active listening. And really listening when you're talking to people and knowing how to talk where you don't make people on the defensive. There is a such thing. Now, you probably already do that. The person that you're having bad communication with, it could be a situation where there's some triggering things. I get it. This isn't the Scorpio bashing session. But these retros are hitting you just like Capricorn with the Jupiter, causing them to dig down deep and let go of patterns, thoughts, and ideas that no longer serve them, as I told them in the Jupiter in retro. It's the same way with Pluto with you. See, your Jupiter in retro hits you in your money sector. You need to be able to practice integrity. This communication issue that you're having a lot of the times is because you're not being honest about things. And that's just what I'm feeling, okay? If it resonates, great. If it doesn't, let it escape. But it's going to hit you in your house of communication. Active listening, speaking without making others feel a certain type of way, and making sure that we practice integrity and honesty with every word. Okay? Sagittarius. It's going to hit you in the second house. The second house of money. Other people's money. It's time to rethink money and material value. What do you really need in order to live well? Where can you spend more wisely? Where are you placing too little or too much of your wealth? It's time for you, and trust me, I got Scorpio in the second house. So I got to work harder, personally. But it's going to hit you if you are a Sagittarius sun in your second house. And you're going to be focused on finances. You're going to be focused on possessions. Okay? I'm looking for a paper towel, but clearly I can't find one. Huh? Okay. Because I need to do this. It's time for me to drink. Ow. Zodi mug. So that's where it's going to hit you. Okay? Sagittarius. Think about that. What do you need to live well? How can you spend more wisely? What are you placing value on? Too much or too little? Okay? Cap. It's going to hit you in the first house of self-identity. Cap. You are going to be tackling some issues. Purpose. Self-love. It's time for you to start feeling like a different person, or maybe you've been feeling like a different person already. It's time for you to do some self-exploration. These retros are hitting you in areas where you really need to shed, like I just got through saying to the Sagittarius, shed thoughts, patterns, and ideas that no longer serve you. The same with Pluto. The same with Pluto. You need to not be afraid to let go of your former self in exchange for a new you. The same with Jupiter. Now it's the same with Pluto. Okay? Saturn, however, is your ruler. But we'll get into that in the next video. Keep in mind, that message is going to be slightly different. But it's all about the overall theme for Capricorns is the same thing. Don't be afraid of letting go of the former Capricorn in exchange for the new Capricorn. And that's just the bottom line. From A through Z, go in and look at ways where you can be transformed. Start with self because it's going to hit you in the first house. The house of self. And Mars rule is the Aries house. It's the house of Aries. So you need to start with passion. Passionately putting yourself first. Okay? Aquarius. Aquarius, this is going to hit you in the 12th house of spirituality. You need to change. It's about changing. It's about you becoming more aware of what you want. And just like with Capricorn, Aqua, you need to make some spiritual goals. You need to stop rejecting the idea that you have a spiritual path. You need to stop rejecting the idea that the notion that because it doesn't happen on your schedule, that it's not supposed to happen or it's not meant for you when you don't get, much like Capricorn, when you don't get the immediate return on what your investment is. Reevaluate that investment. Okay, sorry for that noise. I don't know what's going on out there. It sounds like a truck. The 12th house of spirituality is going to be transform you. There's going to be secrets revealed to you. Maybe some spiritual downloads. Spirit is going to be trying to connect with you directly. To enlighten you to become more aware of what you want, what you need, what you feel in your spiritual self. Become one with that. That is ridiculous. I apologize if you hear that. Okay? Become one with that. Aquarius, it is okay to feel. A lot of you Aquarius hide behind being disconnected because it's natural, but you don't like it. Do you see the irony in that? You don't like it. You can't make me believe that you like coming off aloof and undetached. This is going to force you to dig deep. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be comfortable. But this is what you have to do. Dig deep, Aqua, okay? Become more aware again of your wants, needs, feelings, and walk that spiritual path. Okay? Last but not least, Pisces. It's going to hit you in your 11th house. Jupiter retro, you want to be acknowledged for your accomplishments in the community, reputation, career path. However, in addition to that, Pluto retro is going to hit you because now you're realizing that it's time to let go of people in your social circle that do not elevate you to your highest, that doesn't inspire you to be the higher you. Okay? while you are exploring ways to go down a new path, to elevate yourself in the community so you can elevate your status and your reputation, you're going to be letting go of people that held you down and kept you anchored down into foolishness. Okay? You are learning what you need from your social circle, and you're going to become a little. This retro is going to force you to become a little bit more socially responsible. That even means with your social media presence. You share too much, possibly. You put yourself out there, possibly as a victim. It's time for you to distance yourself from those people who just gave you recognition because of some type of gain that they had, personal gain. Okay? You're going to be slowly distancing yourself from people that don't do you any good. Again, Pisces, if they don't elevate you to the higher you, then you don't need them. And that is what this is going to be doing. You're going to be letting go of people who don't inspire or take care of you. And congratulations, Pisces, on that, because that's hard. All right, guys, I certainly hope it resonated. This is going to be, again, a separate video, a unlisted clickable video that's going to be down in the description. Watch it if you want. It will not be timestamped. Go ahead and go through each. I don't have time to timestamp it. I apologize. Okay. So, like, share, subscribe to the Marvelous Tribe. This is, again, has been your April 2019 astrology snip. Focusing on Pluto in retrograde. We got one more to do, which is going to be Saturn. And then I can get started on your videos. See you here next month. Bye, guys.